Oh, hello everybody and welcome to the Renaissance Cup Semifinals. Today we have winners bracket Eloise versus A-40, and yeah, I will be doing a little bit of everything today. I'm your streamer, referee, and caster. And yeah, joining me is the wonderful Iron on comms. Hello.
Hello. I'll be a bit slower in my speech because I'm eating ice cream right now.
No worries. But yeah, should be an interesting match today. Obviously, it is Seed 1 Eloise. Seed 1 Eloise.
Damn.
Eloise
Damn.
wishes she was Seed 1. No. Seed 1 A-40, a remarkable player, up against Seed 5 Eloise, who has been on a hell of a run of form. She has defeated Runchi in a tiebreaker, and did not play Defectmin, and defeated Dusky and Plush Seal so far. A-40, meanwhile, has literally not lost a point so far this tournament. Not one. He swept Cyro, swept Crix, and swept Spanadude. So to say Eloise is up against a tough opponent, it's a little bit of an understatement here. But the warm-up we've got going on is A-40's. It's actually a chill map, it has to be said.
What's that? That's exclusive to A-Social. Wow.
Yeah.
It's chill. That's chill. That's way chiller compared to the map pool. Holy.
This is surprisingly it's surprisingly chill.
Yeah. A-40 rocking that SS. 132 the map.
But
Really
yeah.
showing their first seed caliber.
I think there was a higher diff of this that was used in Jort that was, I think it was 300. I think A-40 said in chat earlier there was a Jort version of the song that was 300 BPM. Which is, yeah. Also, A-40 only just now dropped SS, by the way. I feel like that's important to mention.
Yeah. 200s.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Is a I mean, Eloise is not holding. I mean, this isn't, folks, this is a warm-up. This isn't even a pooled map, and both these players are already putting on a show. And in fact, it's A-40 who picks up a miss first. I'm already commentating like this is a match, because this could be a very, very interesting match.
Yeah, this may be the first match that A-40 drops a map. Drops a point.
It could very well be. Eloise is a fearsome opponent when it comes to tournaments, and is always improving as well, always getting stronger. I believe has her eyes set on defeating her well, two other British rivals, one of whom unfortunately had to drop out due to some issues. Spanadude didn't get the chance to play, but if she does lose to A-40, there's a real chance she will face Over the Hedge in the losers bracket, which would be quite a match. Those two have played each other many times and met in fact, the UK regional tournament finals in SNT, but she yet may avoid that fate and instead send A-40 her compatriots' way if she can somehow pull off a win, but it is odds stacked against her. And yeah, that was A-40's warm-up, and I have been sent a map by Eloise. And it is, surely it is a map.
Map of all time.
It is a map. You...
Artist SoundCloud. Title what? 213567. What?
Yeah, dude, the stream client is bugging the fuck out. It does not like this.
6 seconds? That's
Good luck, have fun. Dude, what is this? Here we go, 6 seconds. I think we're about to witness 6 seconds of greatness.
oh no, there's the forehead.
Yeah, you might recognize the background. Was
No.
oh my god,
Numbers.
do not look at Eloise. Oh my, oh, there's just no way.
The numbers.
There's no way. There's no way.
That was awesome.
Okay. Anyway, moving very, very swiftly onwards. We're going to get on with the rolls now. This is going to have to play in the background.
Yeah.
Damn! Eloise rolled 99. And, yeah, that's rather unbeatable. As A-40
Take a natural 100.
rolls a 16. And Eloise picks first, which means A-40 will ban first. This is just to be in the background, by the way. I do apologize. And Eloise, A-40 bans no mod 3. So Eloise
Yeah, understandable. H2.
and Eloise bans flashlight. Hang on, I gotta.
Wow.
NM3 ban
I guess also understandable.
flash, not pick. Sorry. Ban, and then I gotta go to laser, and I gotta do it. And Eloise picks no mod 6, so A-40 banned, I gotta do no mod 3, Eloise banned, flashlight, and then picks no mod 6. Alright, let's get this show on the road.
That's an interesting pick. First,
It is.
they go for the speed deck.
No mod 6 going with palling, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is... It's a map.
It's a map.
It is a map.
It's a map. It's fun. I'd say.
Yeah, it's certainly a funny song.
Right. And the mapping reflects that.
The mapping does
Speed
reflect
deck,
that.
all
It
the-
is very funny.
All those funny snaps. Mm.
But
It's
yeah,
actually
getting
so good.
underway. This kind of makes sense with Eloise. She doesn't have the highest sort of skill cap. She's a good all-rounder, doesn't have the highest skill cap, I would say, but definitely sort of excels on these kind of... This isn't a gimmick map, but it feels like a gimmick map. It's like a spiritual gimmick map. But yeah, underway with the first pick, and it is Eloise who drops the first 100s. And A-40 with the SS. But drops it soon after. Now both players are tied on accuracy, but still very early on in the map. We've got it's not a long map, it's only 1 minute and 40 seconds, but we've got a long way to go comparatively. Not even halfway through yet. Eloise will pick up a miss. On this opening, it's less than 200 combo in, so not the end of the world, but against A-40, that gap could very much grow exponentially, although Eloise's accuracy still holding her in check for now.
They're almost equal in accuracy, if not for that one miss by Eloise.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think they're equal in accuracy without that miss.
I think actually Eloise might be slightly ahead in accuracy, at least at one point before the miss, even after the misses, she was. but dropping some more 100s now, and the lead is growing out of reach for her. She dips into 98.5 accuracy. A-40 a whole percent ahead of her and still FCing. And as the map comes to a close, it will be A-40 who takes that first breakpoint very early on.
700s is crazy. A-40 really showing their first seed caliber.
Yeah, that is an incredible score from A-40, actually. And yeah, not really much Eloise could have done from that, even without the one miss. Would have had more than double A-40's 100 count. But yeah, a crazy, crazy score there from A-40 to take a very, very early breakpoint off of Eloise, as we now wait for A-40's first pick, going with Fremont 2. Okay.
I'm guessing hidden hard luck from both of them.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think this is very hidden hard luck doable.
For these two players, quite possibly. It's difficult. I wouldn't be surprised if Eloise was only on one mod, but I wouldn't be surprised if both players was on one mod. I wouldn't be surprised if both players were able to pull out the double.
I think A-40 will definitely be in hidden hard luck, but Eloise maybe. I think they can.
Yeah,
I think she can as well.
She's quite strong on the mods, but we'll see exactly what the lineup is as we get underway with this Fremont 2.
It's actually crazy. I think FM2 is easier to hidden hard luck than FM1. Yeah, A-40 is first picking this as over the hedge. 2014.
Oh yeah, first pick, he's
2015,
definitely hidden hard rocking. And yeah, Eloise is on the hidden solo pick at A-40 with the double mod. And that is already terrifying for Eloise.
The single mod is understandable. Yeah. This is kinda nuts to act, to be fair.
Both players underway. Of course, A-40 gonna shoot a little bit into the lead with the mod advantage, but both players drop the SS fairly early on. No, nothing terrifying just yet.
Oh my god. Reading this map with hidden is mental.
Yeah, it's quite dense with this hiddens we're sort of seeing on screen, but Eloise is, whilst a very good modded player, definitely more so of a hidden player, where the strength really lies. I'm kind of surprised in that regard that she didn't go with some of the hiddens earlier as a first pick. But we may see a hidden from her upcoming, but meanwhile, it's not looking good for Eloise so far. A-40 pulling away with this mod advantage, although he does have lower AC compared to Eloise, which is the saving grace right now. If A-40 was to miss, as we get a break point and both players can see how close they are, if A-40 was to miss, it would likely switch back over. Not for long, though. It depends on the severity of such a hypothetical. But halfway through it, A-40 is still holding.
Yes. The second half, in particular, is harder to... Oh, there's the miss.
Ooh.
Eloise.
Yeah, nice.
I was gonna say this second half of the map is harder with hidden, or at least I find it harder to play with hidden.
Ooh, there's
A-40 missing though.
There was a traded miss from A-40, which is about pretty much a saving grace for Eloise here. At least going to stop the score from completely getting out of reach, but it is a pretty big gap between them now.
Yeah. Eloise still needs a huge act drop from A-40.
More misses
miss
from A-40. A crack, perhaps, in the armor. Eloise's accuracy has also dropped, and with more misses, I think that's going to put dash to any hopes of a comeback here, as A-40 looks to see out the rest of this map in style. Yeah, looks like A-40 will take his first pick with a very impressive hidden hard rock score. Not quite an FC, I think 2 or 3 misses. But does get the 104 milli score. Very nicely done from A-40. 4 misses there.
Yeah, that hidden hard rock score is near unbeatable.
Yeah, that is
with a single mod score.
that's a very impressive score. Louis saying, this is so hard, dude. Died mentally on the spinner part, says A-40.
Yeah, that transition to the second half is rough. Still takes the point either way.
Exactly.
Now
Second play
we're
on the
looking
map.
at
Eloise going with Hard Rock 1. Okay, interesting.
oh,
Oh.
Hard Rock. This Hard Rock one kinda interesting. We're going back. We're going back to the swing Hard Rock one from round of 32, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think that makes. I think that's what it was. Yeah.
So, yeah. In terms of reading, the SP is not too fast, so it's not that hard to read. But like, it's a swing map that's difficult to act, and even more so with Hard Rock.
Yeah.
Definitely an interesting pick.
Deku pointing out in chat. Deku123. A-40 is very good at doublets act just because he played Aether Ritual 1,000 times in 2019. Yeah. I also forgot to hit MP start command. I was wondering why the map hadn't started yet. But yeah, away we go with this Hard Rock 1. Eloise still looking for a chink in the armor of A-40. So far, none to be found on the free mod or Paling. So we're going with this doublets Hard Rock 1, which, well, if what Deku123 in chat says is true, could be A-40 strength, and Eloise picking up very early misses there.
Very early into the map, but that accuracy is not helping her case.
No, definitely a rough start for Eloise. Got a lot of work to do if she wants to challenge A-40 in this pick. Gonna need A-40 to maybe find a little bit of difficulty. But A-40 is, I mean, listen, a 99.3 holding of this FC for the first quarter is nothing to sniff at, but maybe a little bit of low accuracy compared to what we kind of expect from A-40.
I mean,
But either
let's
way,
be fair, that's
yeah.
1/100.
Is it 1/100? Oh my god, is that really 1/100? Fair enough. Not many either way. There's a couple more 100s. The gap actually isn't that big. Eloise has recovered now. Up from it was down to 95% at one point, back into the 98s, and is at combo cap. So the gap is only 25,000 points between them. That's still a hefty amount as we get halfway through. Gonna need a miss from A-40 if she wants to claw this point back. Oh, that's a miss for the wrong player as Louise picks up another one, and that score lead once more grows just out of reach as both players SS the stream. But yeah, as we get into the last quarter of this map, it looks like this is just another point just a little too far out of reach for Eloise. She picks up another miss, and A-40 still with a mid-99 FC.
A-40 really strong showing in this match so far.
Yeah, he's doing very well. And we sort of say as well, he definitely practiced. He was sort of saying that he had given some of the other maps some runs. And I think that's probably is a bit doom and gloom for Eloise. He knew that Eloise could pose a risk. And so has dedicated himself to beating her at all costs. Yeah, Eloise saying in the chat that nobody else can see yet, just me, but now it's appearing rough. And yeah, not how she would have wanted that Hard Rock 1 to go. But unfortunately, just the way the cookie crumbles as A-40 takes another break point to go up 3-0. And A-40 going with it DT2.
Oh. This is a tough map. 270 BPM. with all the funny doublets and the finishers. Yeah, kind of a skill cut check.
Yeah. Eloise saying this map
Not
is
much of a skill cap as
Eloise was thinking of the
not
other
much
map.
of a skill
Apparently,
check.
this DT is cute.
Cute. Yeah.
I don't think I could ever describe a map as cute. But you know, I am not as good a player as Eloise, so maybe that's the reason.
It's pretty nice to play, to be fair.
And
Those just that those doublets are really
yeah,
those doublets and events are
I
really
have,
hard.
to be fair, I have described a map as beautiful once. Me next going with oh, the MP link. You know, that's actually a really good point. I do need to grab the MP link. So whilst I'm grabbing the MP link, you know what? You can also have the MP link. There you go. And put on the ref sheet.
And yeah, anyway, early into the map already 2% difference in accuracy.
Yeah, I mean, this seems like a very A-40 pick, and again, not something that Eloise would be bad at. I mean, so far she's holding quite well, but against A-40, not bad is just, it's just not going to cut the mustard, I'm afraid.
Halfway into the map, still holding the same accuracies. Eloise finding the first miss, not helping her case. It will take a fair bit of a mess up from A-40 for Eloise to be able to recover this map.
Yeah, it would take quite a series of misses. It would take basically a note lock on a massive section of patterns.
Oh my god, Youngin, you're right. Youngin, you're right. The song is definitely very A-40.
It really is. And so far, that's where all eyes lie, as A-40 putting on a dominant show on this DT2. Map coming to an end, holding a 99.85 FC, looking like might just maybe get it up to, no, not quite a 98.9, but holds on to the FC, and that is a monster. 4-100. That is a terrifying score from A-40. Eloise had 11 times the 100s as well as a 1 miss, and that's not a bad score. That is a good score from Eloise on DT2, but that is just a monstrous DT2 there from A-40.
Yeah, that's a young Japanese girl, young Japanese anime girl buff for A-40 right there.
And Eloise finally busting out what many would consider her main, the hidden one. Now, obviously, these aren't quite the stereotypical slow hidden picks. But I knew it would come. Yeah, A-40 was waiting, as was I, for this one.
This HD1, also what they call speed density map in some points. It's like a double BPM map that scrolls at like, I don't know, like 1.25x or something. It's fairly dense to read, but like the SV is pretty fast owing to the BPM, so it's not that difficult to read with hidden, but still.
Yeah. This is perhaps, this is Eloise's main skill set, and A-40 at least said, I knew it would come. Now, is that a sign of a map that he doesn't particularly want, or a sign of he knew this was coming and so has practiced it a lot in preparation? And,
I have a feeling it's the former.
It may very
it's
well
the latter.
be. The latter. It may very well be.
I really don't think it's the latter.
Yeah, it may very well be. This is a long map as well, 3 minutes. And A-40 with a very small accolade. I think there's literally 100 in it between these two at the moment. As we get into these denser sections now.
It's really close.
It is really close between these two players. Both of them are doing tremendously well. As we get to the first third of this map, holding so impressively from both of these players, and we get to a break in the map, and there's less than 2,500 points between the pair of them.
I find it crazy that they SS the double BPM part.
They did do that. But that's the level that these two are on when it comes to this hidden. I mean, yeah. This is insane. And then slow section, Eloise drops a couple 100s, and at this point it's looking like these 100s are going to matter now. The slow section, but A-40 trading a couple back. The gap has gone from 2,500 in the last break to, well, with some 100s from A-40, it may have just stayed the same.
Super close, 2,000 point difference.
We're over halfway now into the last minute or so of this map. And there's 3,500 points between the two of them. It is still razor thin margins, a couple 100s from A-40. And with another break, it's down to 1,168.
That's a 100 difference right there.
It is, and they know that as well. Both those players had a full break, and they can see that they are so close to each other. They know that every 100 could be the difference between winning or losing this point. There's a couple for Eloise. 5,000 point advantage for A-40. A-40 needing to hold this accuracy in order to secure this point over Eloise to take it to match point. But he cannot afford to drop. I think he's got maybe 4 or 5 100s difference maybe between them. Is he going to hold on to the very end? Another slow down section. With how close they know it is, that could be where all the tension lies. But A-40 will hold on for a razor thin margin. 4 100s between the two of them.
Holy. This has to be the top 2 scores of this map for this week.
I don't think anybody's getting close to those 2 hidden scores this week. I would be immensely surprised if they do. But unfortunately for Eloise, what may have been her best attempt at a point is unrewarded. A-40 clearly put in some practice into that situation, and now it is match point. A-40 standing 1 point away from completing yet another sweep and going with Hard Rock 2. And Eloise saying that, yeah, the brakes are the brakes were evil on that map. Hard Rock 2 from A-40, and unfortunately for Eloise, listen, I don't know Eloise's true strength, but I know that she's not a hidden Hard Rock player first and foremost.
I think this is still doable for Louise. Well, I mean playable at least, because okay, this HR2 is like in the key eyes, it's like on average 240 BPM peaks at 150 BPM scroll, but the BPM of the song itself is like only 195. So this is like similar to the HR2 of our round of 32, where the SB of the map is much faster than its BPM, and what it does is that the map becomes a bit easier to read because it's not as dense.
Well, Eloise standing at death's doorstep right now on this Hard Rock 2. Does she have it in her to pull off what would be a fairly big surprise, you'd have to say, really, on an A-40 pick on a Hard Rock 2 to stay alive? This map is fairly long, 3 minutes. Ooh, but a series of early misses from Eloise there, and that wasn't just one. That was not a very clean miss from Eloise. But very early on, so not the end of the world. And we get into one of the first key eyes, but some more misses from Eloise, and I fear that the writing may be on the wall.
While all those misses and 100s are happening on the Eloise side, A-40 is still holding the strong SS.
Oh, never mind.
Oh,
Drops the SS, but unfortunately for Eloise, I don't think that is going to matter. Eloise is struggling. Rafal in the chat saying, get the white out, get it off the walls. But Eloise struggling on this Hard Rock 2, and I already, before halfway through, up to a 90,000 point lead for A-40, who is on a 1/100 FC at this point on this Hard Rock 2. A 2/100. Ooh, but a miss. No longer FCing.
yes.
Unfortunately,
Clean miss.
it is a clean miss and isn't going to do much for... Ooh, that was a less of a clean miss. A-40 not having a little bit of trouble there, but unfortunately it is still a 99% to a 94, 95 from Eloise. Still holding about 90,000 points between the two of them. And,
It's too hard enough. Yeah, 5%, 4% difference in accuracy, even with all those misses.
yes,
Still looking better.
okay, more misses there from A-40. And the gap is still massive. He would have to really severely note lock on these last patterns, but it is no longer 90,000 points between the two of them. All I will say, more misses from A-40, but they're not coming quick enough. I imagine there's not enough density left in the map, but we go again. The score lead has shrunk by 30k in Eloise's favor, but it is, or 20k, but it is still 70,000 points to A-40. Getting a little bit shaky at the end there, perhaps, but enough to secure the win in another dominant sweep.
4 rounds into the tournament, still not dropping a single map.
Still has not dropped a point.
It's definitely GG's.
It is definitely GG's. A-40 saying, wow, my worst score ever. With a sub 1 milli. Well, yeah, that does it for that match. In fact, of course, I mean, it's 6-0 to A-40. And his reward for a victory is another step into the winner's bracket, but it is not entirely free, because his next opponent, as we take a look at the bracket, will be either Ender or Nurend. And either of those players. Yeah.
That other side of the bracket is funny. It's Seed 10 versus Seed 11.
This is not Seed 10 versus Seed 11. Least Seed 10 versus Seed 11 matchup in my life. But, yeah. And as far as Eloise is concerned, well, she goes down into loser's bracket where she will play the winner of Dragon Max versus the winner of Over the Hedge versus NevQR. That matchup to be decided tomorrow. But one possible result, as I said, is we could see a British showdown between what you'd probably argue are the two best tournament players, or active tournament players, the UK have got right now, especially in this event, with Over the Hedge versus Eloise.
This bracket is so funny, man.
This bracket is very funny. But in fact, that is all our matches for today. All done and dusted. We will have 4 matches tomorrow. We will have Over the Hedge versus NevQR, Ranchi versus Alayar, and following that we will have Over the Hedge or NevQR versus Dragon Max, and then finishing it off we will have a highly anticipated Ender versus Nurend matchup. Now that is a match I am very much looking forward to, as well as Over the Hedge versus NevQR and whoever Dragon Max has to face. But that is all from us for now. So, thank you very much for watching, everybody, and yeah, we will see you all tomorrow.